to use Linux style autocomplete by controlling Vim's options with tab, Control D, Control A, Control E, and maybe noselect as an option at the end. And just as a spoiler, tab is what inserts at the line whatever the program you're in thinks could be a viable option. Control D should list all the options. Control A should insert all the options, which will be a bit much, probably. Insert them right into the line, especially if you want more than one option. That's useful. Control E rejects the auto select if you want to just get back to whatever it is you were typing or add more or something, depending on how you have auto select, auto insert set up. It might be important to be able to reject it, and then later when you have all that stuff set up, if you have a lot of completion sources, noselect is a way to have it so that no matter what all those selection and autocomplete and expansion programs might want to do to your text, they never automatically insert into your line right away. They always pop up and give you a list of choices. So that's what noselect will do. If you need it later, it kind of comes at the end of all your other auto select options. So the main type of auto select to talk about really is system versus insert or writing mode. If you are, let me hit I and go into insert mode, where you can type. You see it's giving me all these options to insert stuff if I want, and I hit Control N, Control P to select, or Control E to go back to what I just typed. And in this mode, Control D doesn't work because it doesn't know what kind of thing I want at all. I might want to pull a dictionary definition, I might want to pull a spelling word, I might want to most likely pull a line or a word from a different file, or definitions. There's all kinds of stuff that you can fill in while you're writing, and you can even set regex or wildcards to go out and search for stuff and give yourself a couple hundred different possible input sources. So this spring up and down menu becomes very large and complicated, and you need to really know how to prioritize it and put it in order and which way you want it sorted and all that other stuff. So, but the easier and more fundamental type of autocomplete, autosuggest, is using Control D at the end of a command you're typing or an option you're typing or something where the system knows that what you're typing should be a subset of commands. It can basically do deductive reasoning. There's only a number of options you could be trying to get at, and then once it has that option, there's a set pattern, what they call parameters, options that can go as arguments to that command, and it should help you, guide you through entering those options easily. So in Vim, without wild menu, which is in Vim, wild menu is the beginning of big crazy auto insertion even at the command line. So let me just see if I have that turned on. I'll say set wild menu exclamation question mark. It says yes, it's turned on. So I'm going to go back to that and say exclamation, which will toggle it. And now if I go back and check wild menu question mark, you see in the bottom left hand corner, it says no wild menu now. So if I go into here and I type the command line, and let's say I type ECH, no, O is the obvious command, right? I go high. But let's type ECH, and I'm going to hit Control D. See, it puts up all the different possible ways that I could finish, and if I keep hitting Control D, it'll just keep doing that. So let's get rid of it, come back. But if I type echo, let's see, so here's ec. Apparently there's a lot of ec commands. But I've hit echo, and I hit Control D, there's even more to go. So that's not the only choice. I don't know what econ is, to be honest. Never used that, but there's the command econ. Now if I've typed econ and I hit Control D, it only shows me that one option. So that's kind of useful by itself. It just tells you that you have typed something correctly, that you've got the, if I go ecom, doesn't exist, right? That's not a thing. Donk. Oh, echo message exists. So let's do echo munsamun. All right, so there, see, it's not giving me any feedback. It says, nope, that's not a thing. Echo message, yeah, it repeated it for me. So another way to do that is I could type echo and then I could type Control A, and it put all the possibilities in for me. Now that's not too useful right now. If you're really strapped for space on your screen, actually, you can Control B and then go and delete whatever, but work backwards and get the commands you need. For the most part, Control A is not something you use until you get to the arguments. But if you do Tab, the third most, this is the most common. It's usually, this Tab is what you hit almost all the time. I'll get rid of that. And I'm going to say ECH Tab just did it. It completed echo for me. But it's still there, it's still active, so if I hit Tab again, it'll go through Echo Console, Echo Air, Echo Highlight, bum, 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 back to Echo. Now I'm going to hit Shift Tab. Yeah, it's going backwards, luckily. It doesn't always do that. But depending on how primitive your setup is. So that's Echo, but let's choose a command like color. I'm going to say color. I'm going to hit Control D. Good color scheme. It's the only possible completion. So I'm going to hit Control A. I also, it looks like I said a controller tab, it'll complete it. So there we go, color scheme. Now if I hit space, now it wants an option, and it's only going to take certain names of certain color schemes. I can't just type anything. And luckily Vim is able to look into itself and see what it needs to have you type. So you hit Control D here, and there it just popped up all my possible color schemes that I could insert. If I hit Tab, it'll start inserting them and running me through them backwards and forwards. If I hit Control A, it'll insert them all, because I guess you can have more than one. Let me back. So if I do ELF and Control A, yeah, it just completes it by itself. So this is where Tab and Control A, Control D are really useful, because I don't have to browse the help files. I don't have to go and figure out, well, I know that my command is a color command. So if things are named properly and prefixed properly, my command should be in the group of commands that starts with the word color. That part, being able to browse with autocomplete, somewhat relies on your whatever system you're browsing inside being cohesive and having good prefixes and suffixes and meaningful names and all that stuff. But so I can get the searching started with the word color, and then I'll hit Control D. Oh, color scheme. So then I'll hit Tab, get my choice, hit space, hit Tab again, blue. Sure. There we go. Got a blue color scheme. How about color scheme? See, just finished it. I hit Tab. Now I know it's the one I want. And blue, dark blue, default, Dalek. Ooh, that's Dalek. Yikes, that's pretty ugly. Let's do dark blue, default, Dalek, desert. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So, so we can see I type color. I just hit a tab. Boom, it's all done. Set, SE, it recognizes the beginning of set. So I don't have to type SE tab and finish anything and tab through everything, if I type SE and go space, then we'll assume that's set. And then I'm going to say wild, and let's see everything, all the options that begin with the word wild. Yeah, it's about 9. Okay, so the only one I know that I want is menu. How's that doing? Wild menu, wild mode, menu, Control D, menu. All right, boom, wild menu. Set it, it's on now. Yep, turned on. So now if I type color scheme, complete it, go space, it completed as normal with tab just now. That's a tab I just used to save myself typing. But now when I hit tab on the place where the first argument should go, look what happens. See, it pops up right above me, and I get the full list horizontally. You can actually make it vertical too if you want, but with this it won't interfere with that other crazy insert that I was using before. But so you can see I get all the list, and I can go backwards through it. And so this is wild menu, and it works really, really well to have you not have to go searching through manuals and never mistype anything. So just to show you the other thing that you'd like to know how to use well is the Control D when it lists, because that's very Vim-like. So I'm going to hit Control D at the beginning of the line, which means it's going to try to list every single command, because that's what's possible. Those are all the options to type when I haven't typed anything yet. It's fill in all the blanks from scratch. So here's Control D there, and it's going through it's listing every command for me. So now this is like a pop-up. So unfortunately, I got limited scrollability. I can go up, down, a single line at a time. I can say U and D to go up and down a page at a time. Delete, let's see, no, half page at a time, that's good. So forward and back a full page, up and down a half page, and then G and capital G bring me all the way to the beginning. Oh, I went to the end. If you go to the end, it expects you to put in. And then the most useful thing on space, of course, for a page, but the most useful thing to do is to get until you see where you wanted to type. Let's say I've been like, oh, Nmap clear, that's the one I wanted. So then you hit colon again while it's up on the screen, and that keeps the list up so you don't lose what you were just reading. So now do I have to type everything from scratch? No, I can say, let's say it's Nmap that I wanted, so I can say Nmap, and now I'll hit tab to get my wild menu, choose it between. But let's say I still don't know. Normally, in the old school way, I'd hit Control D again, Nmap clear. Like, let's say you have echo, Control D, there's the list, echo, Control D, gets smaller and smaller until it's just one. But anyway, so that's how you can wrangle this massive. If you hit Control D with no options, so I'm in the command line, so it'll take regular Vim commands and settings. Control D, it's going to list everything, every possible thing, A to Z. If I'm in the expression register where you can type calculations and such, I type Control D. This is every function. See, these are the coding function names that you can put in there. Every single one from A to D. Same exact thing. So that's Control D. Hit here and say Control A. You would want to insert them all. See, it just inserted them all into my command line. I'd have to sit here and delete them, which is crazy. In fact, I'm going to hit Control U and delete the whole screen. All right, well, that's how you can use Vim to sort of get around its own options. And in general, this is the way that autocomplete works in Linux, in Unix. Tab and Shift Tab does most of the work. And then there's ways to list above the complete list, cycle through, like in this case with Control D is Vim's way of listing the complete list. cycle through it with Tab and Shift Tab, and that also inserts. And then Vim has its own Control A for insert all the possibilities. And that's that and setting wild menu so that you get all the extra bells and whistles and some nice colors is really all you need to learn about and navigate Vim's own option system and settings as you go. And is pretty much will also teach you how you can get around Linux, Unix much faster than in Windows when you have to get to a setting by opening a menu and then a bunch of dialog boxes and click a checkbox and then say save the setting and close it each time. Once you get used to this system, it's a lot faster in Linux. And then there is also the other different kind of completion, the one that I was using in insert mode, which you can use to get it at your dictionaries, thesaurus, online resources, language resources, and all your other buffers and files to complete from them. But that's a separate topic. Anyway, so this has been Vim's learning to use Linux-style autocomplete by controlling Vim's own options with Tab, Control D, Control A, Control E to cancel, maybe noselect if you don't want it to insert for you. And